Hey guys, it's George Diamondyard Sports Cards coming at you from my office with another video. Hope everybody's doing well. I have an autograph, graded autograph reveal of some sports cards. I had sent this off to PSA a while back, and I sent in 6 cards to get graded for the autographs and authenticated. It was dual certification, but no grade on the cards, just a grade on the auto. And just kind of amassed these 6 cards over time. One of them is my son Gavin's. Also, I want to let you guys know that I'm going to be on Golden Age of Cardboard with baseball collector Mike. Looking forward to it. That probably should be premiering somewhere around Wednesday, so tomorrow. But let's get to the cards and this PSA review. Here we go. Cards inside. There it is. So, this was the box that it came in. 6 cards. Part of my buddy Eric and I, we both submitted some cards for grading, autographs, and so let's get to it. The bad news, it's not terribly bad news, cards inside. And this is a card that PSA said, return no holder. And this is not, it's a Kurt Warner autograph, and I'm no doubt the autograph is real. The thing is that the card is a third-party card. They don't grade it. Came from kurtwarner.org, I guess. Card's not affiliated with the Arizona Cardinals or anybody else. Has a lot of religious stuff on the back, but anyway, this card's not affiliated or endorsed by the Arizona Cardinals. So anyway, it was a cool card though, Kurt Warner. I thought that autograph was really, really nice. And if you're a Cardinals fan or Rams fan, Kurt Warner has a special place in your heart. Great quarterback. Probably the closest to Dan Marino I ever saw. Quick release. Fantastic, fantastic leader, and awesome Arizona Cardinal. So let's put that right there. Grab some stands. Next card is a man who was known as the Black Lou Gehrig. Played for the Homestead Grays with Josh Gibson, and he played in many Negro League All-Star games. It was these front row cards. This is Mr. Buck O'Neill, William or Walter Buck O'Neill. And front row did a bunch of these guys, Campanella, a lot of the all-timers. But I just saw this card, I picked it up, and it was so beautiful. The autograph was so crisp, and it got a Gem at 10 auto on this Buck Leonard. Now you can see his hand there is very shaky because he was, this is from 1992. He would pass in 1997. But Buck Leonard would be a 3-time Negro League champion. They played an epic World Series against the Kansas City Monarchs. Satchel Paige, Hilton Smith. Now he was hitting with Josh Gibson in 1942. Buck Leonard, known as the Black Lou Gehrig, would lead the league, Negro League, and RBIs multiple times, home runs, and was I believe he was at least 10-time All-Star, if not more, in the Negro Leagues. So one of the greatest hitters of all time, Mr. Buck Leonard. So we'll leave that right there. Next one was 2 1959 cards here. And this is one that I've had since I was a kid, and I sent it to Brooks Robinson a couple years ago, and he signed it. And when he sent it back really quickly, my joke was that he was faster, way faster than PSA, because this was like right before the pandemic hit. He got these back to me, a couple cards back quickly. But this is one I've had since I was a kid, maybe like 1984 or 85, 84 probably. And he signed it and sent it back. And so it was a beautiful autograph. Also got a Gem Mint 10. And this Brooks Robinson's been in my hands since that time, only to go to Brooks Robinson, have him signed and sent to PSA. So really pumped about this autograph. And the grade was great. So anyway, these 59 cards are really good for autographs because they are pretty porous. This one was, and the autograph just kind of is perfectly on there. So that was really nice. The next is a 1959 card that is one of my favorite dual Hall of Famer cards. It is Fence Busters. Now, it does not have Hank Aaron on it, unfortunately. If it did, that would be super awesome. But this is just one of the great tandems of all time, probably the second greatest hitting tandem well, among the greatest hitting tandems. Buck Leonard was part of one of the greatest hitting tandems with Josh Gibson, obviously Ruth and Gehrig, Mantle and Maris. Anyway, Fence Busters, Aaron and Matthews. And so, take a look here. Beautiful Eddie Matthews signature. It got a Gem Mint 10. And the card is just great. The colors on it are fantastic. And you can see this Matthews signature is just really bold. I picked this up about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago or so. Just really happy that it came back at 10. Eddie Matthews doesn't get the love that he should in the hobby. Obviously, the 52 Eddie Matthews is a big, big card. But Eddie Matthews, one of the greatest third basemen of all time. Next card. And you're seeing a theme here with the grades on these. Tried to pick out the best autographs and picked this one up. I was looking online to just buy a Tony Gwynn autograph, and then I saw this raw one, an 84 Topps Tony Gwynn, one of my favorite cards of Tony Gwynn, and the signature was outstanding, and so I picked it up, and I said, you know, next chance I have to get to PSA, I'm going to do that. So that's what I did with this, and it ended up getting a Gem Mint 10 as well. Beautiful Tony Gwynn autograph, card's pretty well centered. Love the pink there, and this is, you know, Tony Gwynn hitting 350, 351, stealing 40, 50 bases, just a total terror on the base paths. In 1984, when they went to the World Series, Tony Gwynn's World Series numbers are just obscene, the 2 World Series he played in. But anyway, so just really happy to get a 10 on this one as well. So I'm going to put that one over here, keep it in the picture. And the last card is a bigger card, and it is a special card from the Negro League Legends card. And these are RD Retort Enterprises cards. I believe that's a photographer. And this is the 1942 Kansas City Monarchs. And this is commonly known as one of the greatest pitching staffs of all time. They won the Negro League World Series. And their 2 best pitchers were not the 2 most famous players on the team. The 2 best pitchers were Booker McDaniels and Jake Matchett. They also had Connie Johnson, lefty Jim Lefty Lamarck, and the great Satchel Paige and Hilton Smith. This card is signed, beautiful picture. This card is signed by 2 of the gentlemen here, and we have Satch there, Connie Johnson, Lefty Lamarck. I believe that's Jake Matchett. I'm sorry, that's Jake Matchett, that's Booker McDaniels, and that's Hilton Smith. Now, Hilton Smith is a Hall of Famer, Satchel Paige is a Hall of Famer. Connie Johnson would go on to pitch in the big leagues and was only 18 years old when this picture was taken. Connie Johnson would pitch for the Baltimore Orioles and be very successful with them. Just looking up some stats on Connie Johnson, he was 19 years old in this picture. This also got a Gem Mint 10. These autographs are really clean. Connie Johnson would go on to win 14 games in 1957 for the Baltimore Orioles. So he started his career in 1940 at the age of 17 and was 19 in 1942. And then he would pitch until 1958 with the White Sox and later on with the Baltimore Orioles. Jim Lefty Lamarck would go 2-0 in 1942, and he was also very young at the time. Lefty Lamarck would go 2-0 for the Kansas City Monarchs. During that season, again, they would beat the Homestead Grays in the Negro League World Series. And Jim Lamarck would go on to lead the Kansas City Monarchs, pitch with them, and go 32-17, at least according to what stats we have, but then would retire at the age of 27, but live a long life. I believe that Lamarck passed away in 2000, and Connie Johnson in 2004. So these 2 great pitchers, and again, Hilton Smith and Satchel Paige are the Hall of Famers here. And then we have Jake Matchett and Booker McDaniels. So guys, thanks for watching. Really happy to get these autographs back. I hope you enjoyed this. Please join us on Golden Age of Cardboard and keep collecting.